two, three. 1, 2, 3. Honey, I'm trying to do a high pitched voice. I got to clear my throat. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Migrant Wednesday. Yes, honey. And I have on the cowboy hat. Yes, honey. I always said that even after Cowboy Carter tour, which wrapped this year, and I went to the New York concert, that I was going to retire, semi-retire the hat. No, I don't think I said that, but I stopped wearing it. But I knew I was going to wear it again, and I'm wearing it now because I wanted to get that energy, and it makes me look younger because I noticed something. I noticed my aging lines here. Yes. And eventually I am going to go to a med spa and get my face slightly threaded so it could like go up a little bit to so those lines go in here. If I thread my skin up, you see how it disappears and you see how it's there. See how it disappears and now it's there. So just a little slightly thread lift. Facial thread lift. Yes, that is a thing. Never mind all that. We are here to talk about the migrants, honey. So please share this video, like this video, get in the comments, honey, and start talking your mess because y'all hate the fact that I am pro ICE. Well, some of you, and others are glad that I am pro ICE. Shout out to everybody on X. Please repost and like on X. And so, yeah, today's topic is listen, let's talk about the wonderful things that the ICE agents are doing. And one in particular, they are saving the children. They are saving illegal immigrant children who were human trafficked here illegally. Human trafficking is illegal, period. But there are a lot of kids under the Biden administration and even prior to that were placed in so-called friends and family homes and they were being taken advantage of. And being that ICE is going into these sanctuary cities, i.e. Operation Charlotte's Web. They're about to go to New Orleans, Mississippi. They already got ICE agents in New York, but that's going to crank up January 1st when Zohan Mandani. I told you to lay down. I'm working. Lay down. You're not, no. Because if I open up the door, you're not coming back in the room. Give me a second. Because he think I'm playing. Lay down. Hi, Kamal. My dog, he could tell when the mailman is coming and he goes crazy. Any sounds outside, like you know how they put the mail in the mail slot and you can hear the mail door slam, he goes crazy. But I'm working, so I'm not going to open up the door to let you out. You're going to have to wait 40 minutes and be quiet. It's my baby. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, honey, they already have ICE agents in New York, and that's going to crank up January 1st when Zohan Mandani is sworn in as the new mayor. So, yeah. So this is going to be ongoing. All those little protests that y'all like to turn into block parties, have at it. But the fact is that y'all need to stop being physical and invoking violence towards law enforcement. I'm sorry. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into the first clip here.
It's good to be with you. Immigration and Customs Enforcement announcing they have been going after some of the worst and giving us a real quick snapshot of yesterday's operations, literally from North Carolina all the way to California. When you read across some of the violations of what these people who are illegally in the country, the offenses they have committed against some of our fellow citizens, guys, it really makes you understand why ICE is doing what they're doing and why it's important to get the story out here. Because what are we always told as Americans? That those who cross that southern border, only violation they commit is illegally entering the country. Well, when you read some of these violations, you say to yourself, well, obviously that's not the case. Look, first-degree rape, first-degree sexual offense of a child, one individual out of North Carolina, another one for indecency with a child, one out of Utah, as you see here, arrested for robbery and trafficking of methamphetamine. And look, I can go on with these offenses. But when you talk about the sexual assaults, we have to remember something here. That's directly impacting someone in our country. And when you say first-degree rape, well, what does that even mean? Let me tell you what that means. That means they either used a weapon during the commission of the offense of that crime, they used extreme violence toward the victim while they committed that crime, or it was a child, guys. These are the kind of people that ICE is out there chasing every day. One last thing I just want to say to this as you're looking at some of these individuals is this. This is exactly why President Trump and border czar Tom Homan are directly saying that the quickest way to public safety to protect our citizens is through mass deportation. And that's exactly why they're going after these individuals and getting them picked up. Back to you.
Certainly the worst of the worst, some of these people. You can't not even believe the charges that they are up against. Jason Jones, we appreciate you coming on.
By this individual that you see in the video, what do you say to people when they look at that and say that falls outside of this purview of getting criminals out? What do you say to them?
Martha, do we know the criminal records of those so-called landscapers? Do we know the criminal records of any illegal alien walking the streets here in Chicago or anywhere else? What we're finding is child rapists in big box stores looking to go into people's homes or hang those Christmas lights like we see in this video here. How do you know who these people are? Do they have a criminal record maybe in their home country? Who are these people? Too many times we're finding that some very, very disreputable individuals are seeking work in people's homes, in their gardens, and otherwise. We don't want those people in society, and that's what we're after. And, I think we've done a really good job here in Chicago and other places to remove these types of individuals.
Well, we know there was another account of a ICE car getting rammed.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Can I switch? Yeah, I can. So here's the thing, and listen, you have the Democrats, especially Jasmine Crockett, honey, I'm about to do a whole brand new video on that. But you have the Democrats and these liberal lovers that are saying, oh, ICE is bad. They want to compare them to slave catchers. They're breaking the law. They're violating people's constitutional rights. Well, you don't have constitutional rights because you are not a citizen, but you do have due process. But these ICE agents are not breaking the law. But we have a big problem here because what people were forgetting, and I need to do a more of an elaborate show on this, are the missing children. There were a lot of kids who were trafficked into this country, whether they were supposed to meet their parents here or whether their parents back home sent them here. There were a lot, over 400,000. You're talking about 500,000 lost migrants, illegal migrants, trafficked into this country. Where are they? And ICE agents have been rescuing missing kids, missing migrants by the thousands.
Fox News alert, ICE announcing a brand new operation to conduct welfare checks on the 450,000 children that the Biden administration placed with unvetted sponsors, some of whom were sex traffickers, gang members, and abusers. The Trump administration has already located more than 24,400 children, and some of these stories are absolutely heartbreaking, like this one. A 1-year-old unaccompanied minor crossed the border during the Obama administration. That little girl is now 12 years old. During her 11 years in America, she lived with a series of relatives and endured horrifying abuse. According to Fox's Brooke Taylor, she was found in the custody of 2 sisters who have now been arrested. The 12-year-old was found, quote, with injuries all over her body, extreme malnutrition, and an infected gash on her head and zip ties around her wrist. Among those who abused this innocent child were her one-time sponsor, a distant uncle that she was placed with in 2024, despite being an illegal immigrant with a criminal conviction. That sponsor, that alleged abuser, was given temporary protected status by the Biden administration. Why? Here is video that Brooke Taylor obtained of the Trump administration arresting that man just yesterday. This is just one of the nearly 500,000 children that the Trump administration is seeking to protect. And this operation comes after the administration announced that Operation Dirtbag, conducted in partnership with the state of Florida, resulted in the arrest of 230 criminal illegal immigrants, including 150 sexual predators. Here was Deputy ICE Director Madison Sheehan announcing that development.
In just 10 days, we've been able to remove, in partnership with the state of Florida, over 230 of the worst heinous criminals from their streets. Our job as law enforcement is to protect the most vulnerable. Democrats will tell you that that is the criminal illegal aliens who they have let run free in our communities, but not this group of law enforcement. We know that it's the children that is our job to protect.
Absolutely. And so, put myself up here. So, listen, ICE prioritizes targeting human traffickers and smugglers who exploit children, not families seeking asylum. Specialized child rescue units work 24/7 to identify and save kids from dangerous criminal organizations. Over 1,500 migrant children have been rescued from trafficking situations in the recent operations. ICE agents coordinate with NGOs and social services to ensure rescued children receive proper care. The real criminals are the cartels, the traffickers who profit from exploiting vulnerable kids. But nobody isn't talking about that because Democrats don't care. For anything, they were hoping Kamala became president so that they could make all of these illegals citizens or eligible to vote so that they can stay in power and dominate Congress. They don't care about the children. See, the hidden crisis here is unaccompanied minors and fake families. Most people don't realize up to 30% of adults crossing with children aren't actually their parents. Criminal networks coach adults to claim fake relationships with kids to exploit family reunification policies. ICE agents use DNA testing, interviews, and intelligence gathering to identify these fake families and rescue children who are being trafficked or sold. These kids often show signs of trauma, malnourishment, and abuse, clear indicators they're victims, not willing participants in immigration. Multi-agency coordinations is the real rescue operations here. What the media doesn't show you is how ICE works with FBI, local police, international partners, and child welfare agencies in complex rescue operations. These aren't random raids. They're carefully planned missions targeting specific criminal networks. Agents spend months gathering intelligence, mapping trafficking routes, and coordinating with social workers to ensure rescued children immediately receive medical care, counseling, and safe placement. It's a comprehensive approach that treats these kids as victims, because they are the real victims here, who need protection, not criminals to be deported. So I'm sorry. I don't care if you feel as though ICE agents are being too rough, they're separating a man or a mom from her children. Most likely, they're not her kids anyway. I don't care what ABC, CNN, and all of these woke liberal news media outlets are trying to report to make it seem like, oh, Trump is a bully, Tom Homan is evil. No, you have to look at the real results. First of all, they're illegal. They shouldn't be here. A lot of them are criminals, and they're in gangs and the cartels, and they're increasing crime in these sanctuary cities. Third, they were getting free resources off our tax dollars that Americans weren't even receiving. Fourth, you have people who are not even in cartels trafficking and abusing innocent children. So I'm sorry. I am pro ICE. Do your job. Like I said, they're coming to a city near you. Let me share this clip.
We've built on these individuals in that area to go out and after the worst of the worst. We're going after people who've committed robberies, assaults, DUIs, getting them off the streets, keeping people safe. That is exactly what the leadership in the city should be partnering with us on and what the governor should be as well.
So that from last night, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem with Jesse touting a successful immigration crackdown in Charlotte, North Carolina, despite ramped up resistance from protesters like scenes here. Represents North Carolina. Democrat says they don't want you there. Go ahead and roll this.
Total disregard for the citizen, the people, those of us who represent Charlotte. So I'm not surprised that they did not coordinate with, they want to come in, they want to sneak in. Well, they said they were coming. They just didn't tell us what they were going to do, where they were going to be, and that kind of thing. So we really did not have, and that's why citizens are up in arms.
Go ahead and answer that, Mr. Holman, sir, if you could. She says total disregard for the people of her community.
No, she needs to understand we're enforcing the law. I mean, what other federal agency does she think should not enforce the laws? We're taking public safety threats out of her community every day, which makes her community safer. You think she'd be hand in hand with us and thanking President Trump for focusing on the worst of the worst, prioritizing those public safety threats, those child rapists and murderers and others. So we're going to keep doing it. She can dislike it all she wants. We'd like her to be a partner and come and work with us on it, but if she doesn't want it, stand inside and watch us do your job.
In Charlotte, that operation continues in Charlotte, right? You're still operating there?
Yes.
Okay. Chicago's been an issue. I know you're well aware of it. We just put up some numbers from Houston, Texas. I just want to go back to that because during the government shutdown, this did not get a lot of attention. The numbers, however, are staggering, all right? The mayor in Charlotte's a Democrat. The mayor in Houston's a Democrat. Is the mayor in Charlotte cooperating? Or are we seeing numbers the way we are in Houston because there is cooperation from that mayor in Texas?
No, what happened in Houston was a fantastic operation. I actually went out there and kicked that operation off. And I mean, the first day, I can't tell you how many child rapists. I mean, the worst of the worst to me is a child rapist. How many of them we arrested the first day? I think 9 were arrested the first day. But we're going, regardless of Republican or Democratic city, we're going to enforce our laws across this country and take those public safety threats off the street, Bill. But I'll say this, I've said it from day one. Sanctuary cities, we're flooding the zone because we know they're releasing public safety threats in the communities every day. That's where the biggest problem is, and that's where we're sending the majority of the agents.
Okay, let me ask you this, the distinction between San Francisco and some other cities. Apparently, a lot of local leaders in San Francisco approached the administration and said, we can do this on our own, we can do it a better way. There's now reporting that New York City will make a similar appeal. What do you know about that?
Well, I can tell you that President Trump and me talked about San Francisco, and I actually spoke to the mayor of San Francisco, and he goes, look, let my law enforcement, my leadership, let us see what we can do within our own government agencies here, and give us a chance. And you know what? He stepped up, and much of his law enforcement is doing the right thing. Even though they're sanctuary city, they're taking some actions against the worst of the worst. We'll see it. We'll monitor it. And as I talk to the president, we'll monitor the success. If we think we need to go in, then we'll have a discussion about going in. But New York City, I plan on being in New York City in the near future. We're going to do operations in New York City. We know in New York City, me and Mayor Adams at one point had an agreement to let ICE into Rikers Island so we can arrest the public safety threats and the safety and security of that facility. But the city council shut it down. So we're going to be coming to New York City. We're already there now. I mean, teams are there now. But we will increase the enforcement presence in New York City, again, because they're a sanctuary city, and we know we have an issue there with public safety threats hitting the street every day.
With that answer, is there a distinction between what's happening in San Francisco and what can or will happen in New York?
We'll see. I mean, I think the president said last night, if the mayor of New York City wants to come and talk about making the streets safer, open up for discussion. I'm willing to meet with anybody. President Trump's willing to meet with anybody. But let's get together and work it together. We much rather work with these sanctuary cities than keep, putting our agents at extreme risk, going out in the community and arresting public safety treatment. They could have arrested them in the safety and security of a jail. So we welcome any conversation, but if they don't want to assist, they want to keep, pushing back and impeding our efforts, then we're going to just send more teams there. We're going to flood the zone.
Last question here. Apparently an illegal alien from Uzbekistan was arrested driving an 18-wheeler in the state of Kansas. Illegally entered in February of 2023 and wanted in his own country for belonging to a terrorist organization. What do we know about this, or what do we need to know about him?
Bill, you and I talked the last 4 years. I've done your show, a million times. I said the Biden administration was lying to the American people, and they said everybody they released in the country was properly vetted. They weren't. I talked to several whistleblowers, and Border Patrol said they were forced to release people quickly so there wasn't overcrowding, so they can say nothing to see here, no, border secure. They released them before vetting even came back from the FBI. And as you know, most terrorists in this world, you can't find in any database unless they're on the battlefield and had a retina scan done by DOD, unless they're part of a T3 investigation. We don't know who all the terrorists are. That's why they should have detained them as required by federal law. Federal law says if you enter the country illegally without proper documentation, you shall be detained. Not maybe, not think about, not release them to an NGO. You shall be detained. And that's what President Trump's doing. Most secure border in history of the nation right now because we're following federal law.
Okay, Tom Homan.
So here's a question that I have. Why is it that when Trump is president, the borders are secure and no one isn't crossing the border illegally? That's why we have border. But Biden and Kamala Harris, because Kamala Harris was the border czar, over 20 million people crossed that border. That doesn't make sense. So Cam, honey, Miss Cam, who says only a fool beliefs. I think you meant believe, but beliefs. ICE is protecting children. MAGA is a plague of horrible morons. Really? So I guess the Biden administration, they're all intellects and they're smart and they have the country interests best, right? No. Why is the Trump administration a whole bunch of morons if they are literally rescuing missing and mistreated migrant children? You ever thought about that? How many kids did the Biden administration rescue? Please email me those numbers, danawithdedata@gmail.com. Let me know the data of how many missing children, non-American citizens, but the illegal migrant children, how many of those children were rescued from horrible living conditions and rescued from being trafficked into this country under the Biden administration? You won't find any because none of them were. So who's the morons? I'm talking about the kids. It's all about the kids. Children's safety should come first, right? So why are you so mad? Why are you so mad? Now, let's play this.
You'll want to remember a deal.
I'm not playing no damn commercials. Because yes, Trump is coming.
Will soon expand its.
Trump is coming to a city near you.
The Trump administration will soon expand its immigration crackdown to Charlotte, North Carolina, and New Orleans. Sources tell CBS News Border Patrol agents could head to Charlotte as early as next week. Operations in New Orleans are expected to begin sometime this month. Neither city shares a border with a foreign country, but in a recent interview, Border Patrol Chief Michael Banks said the agency has the resources to go further inside the U.S.
We're going to go wherever we need to go in order to enforce immigration law in this country. And because we've gotten unprecedented levels of control on our southern border, record lows, it has allowed us to expand and move those operations into the internal part of the United States.
CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camila Montoya Galvez joins us now with some new exclusive details. What are these upcoming operations going to look like?
Well, according, Lindsay, to the Department of Homeland Security documents that we obtained here at CBS News, Border Patrol is making internal preparations to send scores and dozens of agents to Charlotte as soon as next week, and then to New Orleans as part of an effort to increase immigration enforcement operations in those cities, targeting people they suspect are in the country illegally, not necessarily who have criminal records, but anyone who is found to be in the country without a legal basis to be here. And we are told that Border Patrol has even requested armored vehicles and also special operations teams to accompany agents during these operations. As you know, Border Patrol has been playing a major role in major U.S. cities like Chicago and Los Angeles, rounding up many undocumented individuals, including at Home Depot parking lots and also work sites, as part of operations that have really triggered a lot of controversy and backlash because they are more indiscriminate in nature than your routine ICE operations, which are still targeted mainly to people who are in the country illegally, but also have criminal histories and are in many ways in the country illegally, but also have felonies on their rap sheets, if you will. What's really important to note is that we also expect Gregory Vivino, that outspoken Border Patrol official who has been leading that crackdown in Chicago, to be involved in these operations in Charlotte and also New Orleans.
What is unique about that?
Well, the U.S.-Mexico border right now is seeing a historic low in illegal immigration. That has allowed Border Patrol agents to be deployed far away from the border to Chicago and Los Angeles. And under Vivino, that agency has been undertaking unprecedented operations in those cities, targeting anyone who is in the country illegally, not just serious offenders and people with criminal histories. And those are the operations, Lindsay, that have triggered a lot of backlash. And so we could see protests and local community reaction that could lead to clashes and confrontations, just like we have seen in Chicago and Los Angeles.
Okay, so Von Wolf, there's your proof. There's your proof. Because you have people that actually went down there and reporting that there's no border crossing. 96% decrease in border crossing. I don't know why. So are what you trying to say that, oh, people are still crossing the border in high volumes like they were under the Biden administration? Are you serious? Are you kidding? Are you kidding me right now? First of all, Trump didn't even have to send a whole bunch of National Guards, federal troops, or ICE agents to the border when he was elected because they stopped coming because they knew what was going to happen. Over 1 million illegals self-deported. And then the Trump administration was even nice enough to give them, I think it was $2,000 to self-deport on top of all of the free money and resources they got when they were here. These illegals are getting over like a fat rat. Are you kidding me? You know how much money illegals made or received from our federal government alone in the past 4 years under the Biden administration? And you know they sent that money back home to the banks in their country. So when they go back home, they could live lovely and start a business. I don't feel sorry for them. Everyone wants to come to America. Not for the American dream, because there's no such thing, but it is for opportunity. Opportunity, that American opportunity. But it is not easy. We make it hard, as we should. It's not easy living here, and it's not easy to become successful here, but you have 80% plus chance of being successful in this country than anywhere else in the world, which is why everybody in the world comes here, will want to come here, and they come here illegally, and which is why we're the most hated. So miss me with all that. Where's the proof? The Trump administration, they're stupid, they're morons. You're just mad that your girl didn't win, and you're mad that Trump is swooping up illegals, and you have a problem with that. You're in your feelings. Oh, they're breaking up families. No, they broke up their family when they decided to come here illegally and to live off our tax dollars, state and federal. Americans are not even receiving none of the resources that these illegals received in these sanctuary cities. Free housing, free education, tutoring for their children. They even had counseling for the adults and the kids. Black people need counseling. Food stamps, credit cards, EBT cards, work permits, mopeds to drive to get to your job, free daycare, Xbox, PlayStations, where they was housing them at. Please. And that was part of their NGO. See, the Trump NGOs, there's a different private organizations that are helping to rescue missing children. So let's move on, honey. Do not read comments, honey. That's part of. See, when I do my lives like this, the comments, y'all in the comments, you're the ones that really make the show. I love it when I read your comments. That's part of when I do this portrait style like this, like in short feed. The comments are the ones that make the show interesting. I'm going to highlight all the comments, especially the comments that when you guys disagree. They make the show. So when I do the show the long landscape way, I focus more on the show, not the comments, unless you're sending a super chat. So I do focus on the comments. Shane, I think that was your name, but thank you for the suggestion. Sean, thank you for the suggestion. Now let's get into Nicki Minaj, honey, because starting Friday, I am going to be going live on Fridays at 3 p.m. because that's going to be Pop Culture Friday. And I do have a segment now on my shows with Black News. So this is a Black News segment. But I am going to be doing Friday shows, and I'm going to have a call-in number for you guys to call in. Now, I may do it in short style or a long way. I don't know yet, but it will be Call-In Fridays, and it will be about pop culture. However, I want to get into some Black news, and I'm going to start off with Nicki Minaj because I have a problem with these fake-ass celebrities that want to be in politics. So Nicki Minaj spoke at the United Nations, speak out against the Christian genocide that is going on in Nigeria. What the hell do Nigeria got to do with America? But she is somewhat of a tether, not a tether, but she is a immigrant. You know, she's not a foundational Black American. So people who are non-foundational Black Americans, they tend to cape for other nations and countries the hardest. Now, that's Nigeria's issue. That's not our issue. But this is Nicki Minaj at the UN, and I'm not playing a 4 or 5 minutes.
Hello, everyone. I must say I am very nervous, so please, well, thank you, Ambassador Waltz, for this invitation. It is an honor to stand on this stage with you and the other distinguished speakers here today to shine a spotlight on the deadly threat faced by thousands of Christians in Nigeria. I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage in calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, to combat extremism, and to bring a stop to violence against those who simply want to exercise their natural right to freedom of religion or belief. I stand here as a proud New Yorker with a deep sense of gratitude that we live in a country where we can freely and safely worship God regardless of one's creed, background, or politics. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion, like I recently stated on social media.
So my thing is, girl, thank you, John. My thing is, girl, have a seat. Have several seats. So why Nicki Minaj? Just because she gets to a microphone and starts talking about Christians being killed in Nigeria, we should care? We should drop everything. We should not focus on the illegals here. We should not focus on the missing children. We should not focus on these badass kids, not just in Chicago, but everywhere in this nation that's out of control, to focus on Nigeria? Is Nigeria ever focused on America? Nigeria is a very wealthy country. Their oil reserves is, I believe, in the top 10 of OPEC. That's their problem. They have the money, they have the resources to clear that shit up. Where's their military? Why is it their National Guards going into that certain section of the country to make sure that the Christians are safe and not being genocide. Why is that our problem? Trust me, Trump is not going into Nigeria to save the Christians. Really? That's something else. It's a distraction or something else that he want. He don't give him no. So because Nicki Minaj is speaking at the UN, she's not even Nigerian. She doesn't come from no country in Africa. She's from Trinidad. Even if she has a lineage there in Nigeria, girl, why you? What are you going to do? Oh, because you're popular, then more young people will tune in and care. No, they're not going to care. They'll watch and see and hear what you got to say, but they're not going to care. They're not going to go and research and read up on Nigeria Christian genocide. Because what about the Muslims? They never found all those girls. Majority of those girls that was kidnapped under Boko Haram, not just Christians, there's a lot of Muslim girls kidnapped. They only found half, if that, and that was under Obama. And Obama ain't do nothing because he didn't care. Only thing the Obama administration did, Michelle Obama held up a sign, bring back our girls, some mess like that. So what is this about? This is about your liberal Zionist record label people don't like you no more. Jay-Z don't like you no more. So the Democrats, they're heavy into entertainment and Hollywood, her arena. She's on the outs and she needs an end. She needs some protection. So the Trump administration is probably going to give her a little bit of leverage from the liberals that are trying to throw her under the bus. Or maybe she's just trying to stay relevant and she's trying to show us that she's smart and she cares and she's been paying attention to politics. Pharrell said it the other day, which pissed Roland Martin off, and we don't care about Roland Martin. He said, listen, he ain't getting into all that politics stuff. He's not picking a side, and you should not. If you are a celebrity, we don't want to hear you. And I'm actually doing a show on that. And I think that's going to be the Friday show. Why are Black celebrities always got to be the face of something that has to do with somewhere else? Girl, have several seats. We don't care. You sound crazy. Now, Cardi B album went to #1. It already went, I think, triple platinum. She's pregnant. She's getting all of the spotlight. Cardi B is getting all the spotlight. She got pregnant by Stefan Diggs. She has a public divorce with Offset. She has a hot album, complete full album, and it's a good album that dropped. She gave birth. She about to go on tour. She's on magazine covers. She's in the headlines. So Nicki Minaj, this is a way of trying to stay relevant. Relevant without trying to go back and forth with Cardi B on X, because Cardi B is over it. So now let me put my political hat on so I can have people think that I'm actually smart or intelligent. That's why. Because Cardi B is popping and she's not, and she needs attention. She needs to stay out there in the spotlight. But what's going to happen to you 4 years from now when Trump is out of office? Do you think the Democrats and the liberals and, those liberal Zionists are going to welcome you back? Maybe you just retire. But this here, girl, you can save all that. First of all, I don't care what's going on in Nigeria because it's not affecting us here. Let them deal with that. Second of all, I don't need you to sit and talk in front of the UN about anything as if I'm going to take you seriously. And number 3, United Nations don't do shit anyway. They never made a difference. They're actually the problem. Thank you, John. He says, Dana, the reason these kids are so bad, government meddling, stay out of family discipline, i.e. family politics. Well, I think the government needs to get into the family because these kids are being abused. And that leads to my next story. Oh, yes. Do we remember this? The mother in Chicago being attacked by little savages.
Other bitch more. What is that? What is that?
What in the hell? What is going on? Literally jumped by a mob of kids near Ovell T. Bright Elementary has parents shocked and demanding CPS make real changes and arrest. Well, who are you going to arrest? The children or the parents? I think the parents. Now, where's that girl at? So this is the little tyrant apologizing for her savage behavior with her mother.
Say anything, keep it respectful. This is the child.
Hey, my name is Migrant, and I was wrong for everything.
It's okay,
I was wrong for everything that I did. And I
to say anything, keep it respectful. This is the child.
She looked like she was about to laugh.
My name is Kamira Grant, and
honey, I don't have time for all that. Whoop her ass. All of them need their ass beat. Bring back ass whoopings. The mother, she looks like she's a tyrant. This is learned behavior. Learned behavior. She's not sorry. She's sorry she got caught. That wasn't the first time that this girl and the rest of those little savage monkeys attacked somebody. I'm calling this little girl a monkey along with those other kids, and so is her mom. Her mother is a monkey savage. The other parents, fathers who ain't there or their moms or whatever, I don't care. You're monkey savages and you produce savages. Because at that young age, that is learned behavior. Nobody isn't born a savage unless you are birthing them in a savage environment. Whoop their ass. Did anybody get a beating? Thank you, Sean. He says, fake apology, spare the rod, spoil the child. Yes. I want to see some ass beating. Because this makes no sense. Because these children are not being raised properly. They're not. No, monkey. You know what? Monkeys, you're right. Monkey is the wrong word. But they are savages. Because monkeys are cute. Monkeys are friendly. Monkeys don't go around attacking people unless they're like evil monkeys, hyenas or something like that. Ben was friendly. Or was Ben the mouse? What was the name of Michael Jackson's monkey? I forgot. I don't think Ben was the mouse, the pet mouse or the pet rat. But I forgot Bubbles. That was the name of Michael Jackson monkeys. So you're right. No, they're not the monkeys because monkeys are cute. These are savages. That's the only thing I could think of right now. Savages. So where's the ass whooping? Because she looked like she was about to start smiling.
That kind of love But what child knows that kind of love when you've been separated from the breast and you haven't been cuddled enough to be secure psychologically? This is why these children are so psychologically damaged, because they never had a proper nurturing and relationship and a weaning with their mothers. You produce the chemical imbalance by not nursing. Not for 2 months and let it go, but the Quran says the weaning is for 2 years.
Research shows that black mothers have the lowest breastfeeding rates in America, yet studies reveal that nursing your baby within the first hour of life can dramatically reduce newborn mortality.
But what child knows that kind of love when you've been separated from the breast and you haven't been cuddled enough to be secure psychologically? This is why these children are so psychologically damaged, because they never had a proper nurturing and relationship and a weaning with their mothers.
Absolutely. It starts at the home, not in the government. No, no, no. It starts at the home with mom and dad, whether they're married or not. It starts at the home. It starts at the home. Now, speaking of pregnant mothers, because I did a video last week highlighting the Houston mom who was in labor, and they had her sitting in a wheelchair for 30 minutes before they admitted her in the back, and she's screaming at the top of her lungs. And when they finally admitted her in a back room, the baby came out 10, 12 minutes later. Well, we have another black woman who was denied care and kicked out of the hospital. They sent her home. She did a press conference. She is suing, as I hope she will. And this is the sister-in-law of the black woman who was kicked out of the Francine Health in Crown Point, Indiana labor.
I want you to imagine for a minute that this is you or your sister. How would you respond? I don't have to imagine, because this is my sister. This is my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, my family. She went to Franciscan Health in Crown Point, Indiana. She was told by the nurse that her labor wasn't progressing fast enough and that she was only 3 centimeters dilated. Despite, for hours, her contractions going from 4 minutes to 1 minute. They wouldn't know that though, because they did not put her to, they didn't attach her to a monitor. She was not attached. She was never hooked up to any monitors. She never saw a doctor. She was discharged and told to go home. 8 minutes later, my brother, as he was driving to another hospital, because he knew his wife was in labor, had to, with one hand, drive, and the other hand, he yanked her clothes off, her pants, and looked down and saw that my niece was coming. He saw her head. He had to deliver his child with his hands. As he was driving on the side of the road, he had to pull over, deliver the baby as the car was still running, placed my niece on Mercedes, my sister-in-law, on her chest, wrapped her in a blanket, and drove to Munster Community, where they are now. For those of you that think that this is not real, you can see the umbilical cord in this photo that I've attached. That's still attached to the baby. That's what that blue thing is. They arrived at Munster Community at 6:53 after delivering the baby at 6:28. If you believe that women have a right to be heard and listened to, if you believe that black women have a right to be treated with dignity If you believe that a mother should not have to deliver her baby on the side of the road, please help me get justice for my family. Share this. Tag somebody. I'm not letting this go ignored. I'm not. And you shouldn't either. If this happens to my family, this can happen to your family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She's right. Another black mother being denied. And this is just two incidents that happened on video that went viral. This happens to a lot of people. And also I've heard a lot of white women complain as well. And what has to happen, right? Since Jasmine Crockett want to talk about black women being disrespected and black women this and Kamala Harris and all these other black liberals and black politicians, where's your voice at on this? Where is the public policy that you have written up to put on the table, not just for black women, but for women and maternity? We are in the middle of a healthcare crisis. Jasmine Crockett is not going to talk about this. She's not going to talk about the women, not Houston, Dallas. She's not going to talk about the young woman in Dallas that had to deal with being mistreated. And I'm not sure if that was in Jasmine's district, but it was either her district or near her district. Jasmine Crockett is not going to mention about these two black women, but she is going to mention about the illegals because she loves caping for the illegals on the backs of black women. But you don't want to do anything or speak up for a black woman. But you be the first one to say that you're being disrespected because you are a black woman. See, I don't respect that. This is why I don't believe politicians. I don't trust them. They're all liars. They don't do shit in Congress. They don't. That's for Democrats and Republicans. But if you are going to use the plight of black people, at least do something for them. Because that's how you got elected, by black people. By black people. Kamala isn't black. And that's why. That's why it's like, of course she's not going to do anything. But you want to talk black. See, you talk black, but act illegals. Cape for illegals. Not even act white. You talk black, but you cape for illegals. This has nothing to do with white people. Has nothing to do with white people. So if you guys don't like Trump, or if you're a Democrat and you can't stand the Republicans, if you think Trump is a racist, okay, fine. What are you doing? What are you doing when black women are being mistreated, in the hospitals, pregnant or not? What are you doing when you see black children acting out of control? What are you doing? And and I don't care if you think I'm wrong. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. You are wrong for calling them that. You should something people giving you money. So at all right for white so-called, honey, learn how to write. Learn how to write. And you must be black, because then you're talking about white people. Learn how to write a proper sentence or sentences or paragraph before you try to criticize anything about me, because I said it. Monkeys, but monkeys are cute. So that's not a good word to call those savages, but they are fucking savages. And their parents are. Their parents are pieces of shit. I want to see their parents locked up. I want to see their parents get fined, get house arrest, go to treatment. What is going to happen to those savage parents? Thank you, John. Facts, Dana. I hate politicians. They're all about the money. Yes, they are. They are. So, if you love black people so much, if you love Jasmine Crockett, if you hate Trump so bad, if you calling him a racist, do something about the crisis or crises that is going on in the black communities across this nation. Do something about it. And if you're not, shut the fuck up. Just shut up. And with that, guys, I will most likely see you on Friday. And I may have the phone lines open. This was a nice, cute show. And make sure you like the video, share the video. Yes, thumbs up, thumbs up. And I'll see you guys Friday. You going in, but you're right. It is pathetic. You're so cute when you're petty. It's not, I don't think petty is with a D. Pet T is with a T. Just like I spelled. Oh, petty, just like I spelled. Okay, excuse me, Big Freeman. Yes. Oh, that's going to be the show Friday. That's going to be the show Friday. Got to air out these black celebrities. I ain't got. Oh, and then for all you liberal lovers, especially you black liberal lovers, you Democrats, you guys vote. You voted for the illegals. You want to protect them. You want them to get all of the resources that should be going to black communities, poor communities. Yeah. So you hold that L. Y'all stay mad. Because you wanted the bullshit that Trump is cleaning up. Whether you like him or not. You got to deal with him for the next 4 years. And with that, bye. See you guys. Have a wonderful day.